Hello, I'm Orazio from Orazio's Italian Restaurant, and today I have my executive chef, Bill Smith, with me, and we're making a simple but beautiful dish.
Beautiful walleye, dusted with some ground pretzels and a Maque Choux.
God bless you.
Oh, Maque Choux is actually like a creamed corn, but it's got some Louisiana, New Orleans flavorings to it.
So we leave the skin on the fish here just because it helps hold it together when we're flipping it over. Again, it's just pretzels, put it in the Cuisinart or put it in a bag, hit it with the hammer or the back of a saute pan, break up your pretzels, and encase your fish with it. Get your pan nice and hot. You're gonna put a little bit of olive oil in it. We're gonna just get the pretzels coated here, and then we're gonna finish it in the oven.
Putting a little salt. A little black pepper on for seasoning.
And now we're just gonna finish that in the oven for, what, about 8 to 10 minutes?
About 8 to 10 minutes, it'll be perfectly flaky.
All right, so now we're gonna make our Maque Choux. Husked the corn earlier, cut it off, but usually at the restaurant, we'll take it and we'll actually roast it to give it a little bit more flavor and get a little caramelization on
Absolutely.
that corn.
A little more flavor too. You get that smoky flavor. It helps add to the bacon and the onions.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the bacon right now, put the bacon in first. We'll get a little bit of color on the bacon, get a little bit more of that smokiness, and you can use whatever kind of bacon that you want. If you want to use an apple cider or something like that to give it a little bit more.
Delicious, delicious.
And you want to saute it pretty good. You don't want it quite crisp, but you want to cook that color out and caramelize that sugar in the bacon. And even with this dish, Bill, could you use like a sea bass?
Absolutely. You could use almost any fish you wanted with this. I think anything would work well with this flavoring.
Okay.
But I like to do it when the corn is fresh. You get a lot more flavor from fresh corn.
And if you do have to use frozen corn, then we would highly recommend that you put it on like a sheet pan, put a little bit of virgin olive oil on it, and put it on the top of your broiler. Get some of that color on it, and you'll see that that corn will taste even better, even though it's frozen.
Absolutely.
We're gonna add our onion to it, just a white Spanish onion. And we'll cook that out a little bit, just since the onion's gonna take a little bit more time. Cook it right out with the bacon for a little while.
Looking delicious, Roz.
Okay, so we're gonna add a little bit of green bell pepper to that. It's got beautiful colors. Some red bell pepper. Mix it up just a little bit. Look at that color.
Beautiful.
And then we're gonna add our corn. I'm just gonna let that sit on top. We always try to layer the food as we cook it. Let the bottom keep cooking, and then the top, the corn, we just wanna warm it lightly. You don't really have to cook it much, especially if you roasted it already. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of brown sugar, just to add a little bit of sweetness and to give it that malty, caramely flavor. A little bit of fresh scallion. And you can see I'm not even gonna mix it. I'm gonna just let it do its thing. I'm gonna add a little bit of heavy cream. You can see how thick this is. We actually use a 40% heavy cream. Adds a lot more flavor, a lot more richness to it. So we're just letting that cream come down a little bit. Add a little bit of black pepper. A little bit of sea salt. Look at the colors. It smells fantastic. That bacon's cooking right up.
That's better than any cream corn you can buy, Roz.
Exactly. And believe it or not just because we're Italian, but we actually add a little bit of fresh grated Romano cheese to this. And what this does is it smooths out all the flavors together, but it also tightens up that cream just a little bit. Now we're ready for the fish, and we'll plate it together.
Beautiful.
All right, now we're gonna add a little bit of our homemade pesto sauce to the mayonnaise for the top of the fish.
Delicious finish.
This smells delicious, Bill.
It looks good too. How's those flavors?
Absolutely incredible. The bacon, the corn, that pesto mayo completes the dish. Makes me want to go fishing right now, or to Orazio's.
Come dine with me in Western New York.